This video provides a comprehensive guide to mastering JavaScript functions, covering everything from basic declarations to advanced concepts and best practices. The topics that we'll explore include function declarations and expressions, arrow functions, parameters and return values, and advanced concepts along with best coding practices. Function declarations are a way to define named, reusable blocks of code. These functions can be called from anywhere within their scope, even before they are actually defined in the code. This ability is known as hoisting. Key characteristics of function declarations include that they begin with the keyword function, they must have a name, they are hoisted to the top of their scope, and they can be called before their actual declaration in the code. Here are some examples of function declarations. The first example shows a basic function declaration called greetUser that accepts a parameter name and returns a greeting message. The next example demonstrates a function named calculateArea that accepts width and height as parameters and returns the area. Finally, the last example shows how hoisting works. The function sayHello is called before its actual definition. Due to hoisting, this code works. Let's explore the concepts of scope and hoisting with function declarations. In this example, a function called counter is defined. Inside the function, a variable named count is initialized to 0. Also, a nested function called increment is defined. The increment function increases the count variable by 1 and returns the increment value. The counter function returns the increment function. When countup is called multiple times, it returns increment values. Now, let's understand the hoisting process. Code execution starts and the creation phase begins, where a variable object is created. During this phase, function declarations are added to this object. These function declarations are then hoisted to the top of their scope. Then the execution phase begins, where the code runs line by line. This is how function declarations get hoisted in JavaScript. Function expressions involve assigning a function to a variable. These functions can be named or anonymous and are not hoisted like function declarations. Function expressions are defined at the point of assignment and are executed in the order the code is read. There are two types of function expressions. Named function expressions, such as the factorial example here, have a name associated with it. The next example shows anonymous function expressions, like the greet function that doesn't have any name. A function expression can also be passed as a parameter to another function, like the setTimeout function here. Key differences between function expressions and function declarations are that function expressions are not hoisted, they can only be used after they are defined, they can be anonymous, and they offer more flexibility in context. Arrow functions provide a more concise syntax for writing functions in JavaScript. They have shorter syntax compared to traditional functions, implicit return for single expressions, and lexical this binding. Also, arrow functions cannot be used as constructors. Let us look at some examples. This is a basic arrow function to add two numbers, returning the sum. Here's an example of a multiline arrow function that has a block body, where you need to use the return keyword. This is an example of an arrow function having a single parameter, where the parentheses are optional. In this example, an object is returned implicitly, where you need to enclose the object inside parentheses. Common use cases of arrow functions include callback functions, array methods such as map, filter, reduce, promise chains, and event handlers in modern frameworks. Function parameters are placeholders for values that a function will receive when it's called. Parameters can have default values assigned to them. When an argument is not provided or is undefined, the default value will be used instead. Here is an example of a function called greet with two parameters, name and greeting. Then, a function createUser with a default role user and active status true is shown. The third example shows that you can use a function call inside a default parameter. Function parameters are variables listed as part of a function's definition. Default parameters were introduced in ES6 and allow you to set default values for your function parameters. Best practices include placing parameters with defaults last, use meaningful default values, and document expected parameter types. In this diagram, a function is shown with parameter 1 and parameter 2, where parameter 2 has a default value assigned. Let's explore advanced parameter handling with rest parameters and destructuring. Rest parameters collect remaining arguments into an array and should always be the last parameter in the function definition. Here's an example. The function sum uses rest parameter to collect all arguments in a numbers array and return the sum of all numbers. Parameter destructuring extracts properties from objects or elements from arrays. Here is an example where the processor function destructures name, age, and email from the parameter. Finally, it is also possible to mix both rest parameters and destructuring. Here the process function destructures type from first parameter, and rest of the items are collected using rest parameter. Rest parameters allows flexible argument handling. Destructuring makes object property access cleaner, along with default values for missing properties, which results in better function signatures. Function return values are the output that a function sends back after it has completed its task. A function can return a single value, multiple values, or another function. Here's an example of a function that returns a single value. The calculate area function returns the calculated area. When returning multiple values, objects or arrays can be used. The function getCoordinates returns an object having 3 coordinates. When doing validations, you can use the early return pattern. Here the validate user returns an object with a valid flag. If the user is valid, it will return an object with valid as true and data as user. If the user is invalid, it will return with valid as false in the error message. Functions can also return other functions. Like in the example, createMultiplier returns a function that multiplies its input by the factor. Best practices include being consistent with return types, use early returns for validation, document return values, and consider using TypeScript for type safety. Some common mistakes include forgetting return statements, having inconsistent return types, and returning undefined implicitly. An immediately invoked function expression, or IIFE, is a JavaScript function that runs as soon as it is defined. It combines function definition and execution in a single step, creating a new scope and preventing global namespace pollution. Here is the basic IIFE pattern. A function is defined and then immediately invoked using parentheses. In this example, an IIFE with parameters is shown, where a config object is passed, an API object is constructed. Here is an example of a modern IIFE using arrow function syntax. Common use cases of IIFE include encapsulating private variables and methods, avoiding global scope pollution, module initialization, one-time setup operations, and creating closures. Modern alternatives to IIFE are ES6 modules, block scoping with let and const and class private fields. Recursive functions are functions that call themselves to solve a problem. A recursive function solves a problem by breaking it down into smaller instances of the same problem. A recursive function needs a base case to stop calling itself, and a recursive case where it will call itself with a modified input. Here's an example of calculating the factorial of a number using recursion. The base case is when n is less than or equal to 1, and the recursive case calls the factorial function again with n-1. Here is a tree traversal example, where the traverse function is called recursively with the left and right nodes. Key aspects of a recursive function are the base case, recursive case, and the call stack. This diagram shows how the factorial function will be called recursively. Pure functions are a key concept in functional programming. They are predictable, testable, and maintainable function patterns. The main characteristic of a pure function is that it always produces the same output for the same input, meaning it is deterministic. Also, pure functions do not have any side effects or external state mutations. They rely solely on their input parameters and have no external data dependencies. Here are some examples of pure and impure functions. The multiply and format name functions are pure as they don't have any side effects and returns the same value given the same inputs. The addTotal function is impure since it modifies an external variable total. Similarly, the getCurrentUser function is impure as it depends on an external API call. Some of the benefits of using pure functions are that they are easier to test and debug, they have a predictable behavior, are better for parallel processing, and they are simpler to maintain and refactor. Higher-order functions are functions that operate on other functions. They can take functions as parameters, return functions as values, or both. This allows functional programming patterns and increases code reusability. Here's an example where the multiply function returns another function that multiplies its input x with the factor. Here the execute operation function takes another function as input and calls the function with inputs a and b. Higher-order functions are possible because functions are first-class citizens in JavaScript. They enable function composition, support callback patterns, and facilitate code abstraction. Let's explore common array methods that utilize higher-order functions. These methods are used for array manipulation. Let's consider a sample data set of users. The map method transforms each element into something new, like here where it transforms the user array into an array containing just user names. The filter method creates a new array with elements that pass a certain condition, like here the code filters the user array and returns an array containing active users. The reduce method accumulates array elements into a single value, like here it returns the sum of all the ages. It is also possible to chain methods, like here we are filtering the active users, mapping it to an array containing names and joining it using a comma. Using these higher-order functions promotes declarative code style, immutable data handling, method chaining for complex operations, and reduces side effects. Let's look at some best practices for writing clean, maintainable, and efficient functions. For naming and structure, it's essential to use descriptive, action-based names, follow the single responsibility principle, keep functions small and focused, use meaningful parameter names, and limit function parameters to a maximum of 3. Regarding error handling, you should validate input parameters, use early returns for guard clauses, throw specific error types, and document error scenarios. For performance and maintainability, you should cache expensive operations, use pure functions whenever possible, avoid global state dependencies, and write self-documenting code. Here is an example of bad practice and how to improve it using good practices. Also, we have a memoize function, which is a reusable pure function. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.